sweetie.
Hey!
This weekend my sister's coming. I was wondering what you thought of making lasagna.
Oh, that sounds great.
Okay, so we're gonna need to get noodles.
Right.
Is there anything else we should get on the shopping list?
Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
To our brain, whatever we're looking at is just automatically the most important thing. And that's actually good because otherwise we'd never get anything done. But if you care about communication, you care about your spouse, then just turn and face them.
What if you don't face your spouse?
Then you're not really paying attention to them, and it sends a message that what I'm working on is more important than you. We're really not good at multitasking, like we all think we are. But then anytime that's studied, we find out we're actually really bad at it. And then, facing your spouse shows that you care and that you have respect. So what would make it more difficult to actually do this?
Well, I truly believed that I could multitask, and I had a lot of things going on with 5 kids, and every single one of them doing something different. And homeschooling, I was constantly either taxiing them or doing something major in the house or sending messages to people who needed to know things. And there was just a lot to focus on. And when I was focused on an email or whatever, my focus was completely there, but then I thought, hey, if Greg's here, I'm sure I can listen to what he's doing while I'm typing away. And honestly, at times when I was doing that, it felt like he was breaking my focus, and it was kind of an annoyance, So that's a challenge. Seeing your spouse as an annoyance, there was that temptation to see him that way, which is not good. But I had a lot of pressure to get my work done, so that it's a difficulty to just stop typing that email that I've got all, the next 5 sentences in my brain, to stop that. And, it feels like a train wreck. So that was difficult. So it's a challenge. And then there's the temptation to see your work as more important than your spouse, like Greg said already. But that was definitely there for me. And my actions kind of allowed my beliefs to understand that he was not as important as what I was doing. So realizing that was huge.
Okay, from my perspective, I thought you could multitask too, right? Everything seemed okay. And then later when we'd talk about it, I'd found out that you actually got very little of what it is that I was saying, that the comprehension was pretty low. And so then that would tempt me to think that that I'm less loved than what you're working on.
Makes sense. So what should this look like then?
Let's take a look. Hey, sweetie.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. My sister's coming in to town this weekend.
Would you mind if I just finish this sentence really fast?
Sure.
I'm almost done. Just 1 sec. Okay.
So my sister's coming into town, and I was wondering what you thought of making lasagna.
Sounds fabulous.
Hey, sweetie.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, good. My sister's coming into town this weekend. I was wondering what you think of making lasagna.
Oh, awesome. That sounds fabulous. I love it.
All right. We're going to need to get noodles on the shopping list.
Great. I'll put it there now.
Anything else we should put on
there? Maybe some salad?
Awesome.
Okay, let's do it. So it's important to see this with a view of reality. What's really going on? We talk about spiritual warfare. Life isn't just about the emails I have to write and Greg's sister coming over or whatever. Life is about, us getting to heaven, us sanctifying each other. This beautiful design that God has created called marriage that is meant to sanctify us. So the view to have in this situation when I'm busily typing away at an email that I want to write and is urgent, and Greg walks in and takes my focus, that's God allowing an annoyance to kind of give me a little nudge to say, hey, there's something wrong here. He permits these temptations to allow us to grow in virtue, to grow to look more like Christ, who sacrificed himself for his beloved, right? And that's what we're called to do. That is the view that we should have, right? At every moment, every instance that we are called to sacrifice what we want for what our spouse wants, we are being called to look more like Christ. That's pretty amazing. I think that's an awesome design that God has created in marriage in particular. So, what are some virtues that are needed here? What are the virtues that God is calling us to practice in these instances where our focus is here and our spouse is wanting something else, pulling our attention away? What kind of virtues is he calling us to have? So one is patience, right? To have patience. Another one is humility, to stop thinking about ourselves and think about the other. And love is huge, all around. So see these instances as opportunities to practice these virtues that God is calling us to have. And I'm sure he provides, but we just have to practice it, right?
Yeah.
And it's a great habit to form, but it definitely takes effort because it's calling us to sacrifice,
Right.
which is difficult for some.
And yeah, it does take work, but it's really worth it, because each time you do this, each time you turn and face your spouse, they'll feel a little bit better about your relationship. So like your relationship's getting a little bit better each time you do this. So we invite you to go ahead and try this out, make it a habit, and let us know how it goes. We'll see you next time.